Hello, everyone. This is Ernie Humphrey, the CEO of Treasury Webinars. I'd like to welcome you to my session, The Critical Skills You Need to Deliver Value. We're going to take you on a ride that's going to talk about the skills that you need to deliver value at your organization. So we're going to give you a lot of different slices of how you might go about identifying those skills and then some tips how to manage those skills. I will share with you some research, start at the CFO level, see what's important to our CFOs. And of course, that'll be important to us in the Treasury department as well. And then we'll dive down a little bit into my experience for the skills I've identified, and then introduce you to a tool called the Treasury Skills Wheel, which is the brainchild of my strategic partner, Mike Richards. So as always, put your seatbelt on, fast and furious, skills that matter. And so let's take a look at CFOs. And so top 3 priorities for CFOs. 2022, you're going to get to the first line and go, whoa, that's unexpected. Talent and labor, the top priority for the CFO. So that means the opportunity is there for you as a treasurer, treasury leader, in that to invest not only in your own skill set, but get buy-in from your CFO to invest in the professional development of your team. So just wanted to point that out, how important talent labor is. Well, Ernie, that's the only study that shows that. No, it's not. So PwC as well, hiring and retaining talent. So there is some momentum here to invest in those skills that matter. What about some specific skills to CFOs that matter? Things that you can develop, if not the expert at your company, connect with others. And these are going to be things that are going to get the attention of your CFO if you become known for having these skills. Diversity is inclusion. We probably have to partner with our HR leaders there. ESG is important. So let's get up to speed on that. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. We're going to have a session on that on April 17th. Taxation policy, cybersecurity. So just trying to give you a little bit of flavor of things that matter to the CFOs, and things where CFOs think that they have a gap in their team, and you can be like, hey, I know how to do that. So that's important. So prioritizing for CFOs that are hiring. So if you're looking to directly report to the CFO, which is always a good thing, familiarity with technology, of course, important. Analytics, data storytelling. We'll talk about that here in a little bit of detail there of bad public speaking, Ernie. Strategic problem solving. And so those are just skills that matter. So we're trying to give you the level set of being able to identify the skills that matter to you at your company in your career. They won't be the same for everyone, and they might change the priorities of the skills as you move up and down the corporate ladder. Key skills for Treasury success survey I collaborated on with High Radius last year, and we also did one the year before with APQC. So these skills were pretty consistent over those 2 years of surveys. We'll do this again in 2022. Top skills, data management, data analytics. We saw IT savvy. These are the things that I think matter, are more important. And when I've talked to Mike Richards, my business partner, he agrees. The business partnering, relationship building, social skills, passion for learning. That's really what companies are looking for. That's what CFOs are looking for. That's what treasurers are looking for. That's what treasury managers are looking for. And so those soft skills. And so the way that Mike looks at it, I like a lot. You have your hard skills and your soft skills, and you look at those 2 buckets, and then you manage down within those buckets as well. So just giving you some specific skills, not only based on conversations that I've had myself, surveys from my Treasury webinars and others, but also the insights of my strategic partner, Mike Richards, who has been in the Treasury recruiting business only with Treasury jobs for over 20 years. So skills and impact performance. This is my list based on my experience, conversations, surveys, all my knowledge that I have. And you'll see this, and you'll see if you haven't interviewed lately, you'll see that this is important, or you should emphasize interpersonal skills. Relationship building is incredibly important. Impact your performance. The more people trust you, right? The more you trust other people, the better off you're going to be in collaborating. 1 + 1 = 3. Effective communication, of course, written, I'll say email and reports, oral presentation, but also I should absolutely put on there, I'll call virtual communication skills. We need to not only be able to function ourselves in a remote environment, that's a skill set, but also manage folks remotely. I have blogs on both of those in more detail, but some people aren't necessarily wired to work remotely. We've all had to learn that if we haven't done that yet, but also to empower our team to succeed in a virtual environment as well. Our blocking and tackling skills, those are the technical skills. I'll talk more about those later. Analytical abilities, really how we go about really getting the intelligence out of the data, how you solve problems. So it's about taking the data, oftentimes creating a story, explaining the story, and also anticipating what people want to see, and then giving them the explanation that is going to resonate with them. Anticipate questions that people might ask and address those in your explanation. Your problem solving skills, it's really the process that you use, and you can absolutely collaborate with others on problem solving. One of the nuances of problem solving is finding the root cause. And so that usually is facilitated when you have interpersonal skills. If you have the right relationships, people aren't hiding things from you. So to get to that root cause and get to that solution, so that's a skill. So problem solving takes the analytical, but also the interpersonal skills, especially if you have the finger pointers in your organization, which I would not tolerate in my department. We talked about tech savvy, leadership, empowering your team to be successful, being on a team as well as leading a team, how you manage the dynamics of your team, how you lead by example, being innovative, having a passion for learning, and then the more knowledge that you have about your competitors, your relative relevant industries of your suppliers and customers, the better off that you are. So those are all things at a top level. I'm happy to have a conversation with you and give you some specific skills that you might want to look at. And you want to be looking at assessing those skills. So where am I at? Where do I want to be? Where does my boss think I'm at? Where do my peers think that I'm at as well? And then what gaps do we have? And then how do we fill those gaps? Again, make this palatable to you. So you might say, Ernie, this is a lot. I don't want to have 50 things. So, okay, let's start with 5 or maybe even 2 to 3, the technical hard skills and the soft skills. And then again, ask your boss, right? Don't be afraid. They're going to be vested in your professional development, get feedback from your peers, maybe your Treasury peers, ask them what they're doing, what they're seeing. And also you can, if you're not connected with Mike Richards, he's a great resource for you. Ask him, what are treasurers looking for? This is what I have. How do I present my skills in my resume? And for me, ask me, how do I do that in my LinkedIn profile? Dive a little bit into communication here. What really matters in communication, you have to listen, speak. Don't just speak to respond, right? Listen to listen. Don't listen to respond, listen to understand, digest. Be authentic and honest in your communication. That helps others feel comfortable and trust you. And that will allow you to be proactive instead of reactive, and allow others to be proactive to you in maybe reporting things that are happening, and not be reactive. And that just removes the friction and makes us all more productive. You want to align perceptions and reality. Make sure those are the same. For me, I often tell the story. I was in Treasury. I thought I was awesome. I thought everyone loved me. And then my boss said, well, you're doing a great job, but you're leaving bodies in the road. So you got to be careful about that. So that became something that I paid attention to, my perceptions of what I was doing and how I was doing it versus the reality of what others, what it really was. My perception was not reality. And so learn how to have delivered discussions versus arguing. Just think of arguing as emotions and aggressive gestures. So think about your emotions and your gestures and your demeanor and your body posture and things like that. So whenever you start bringing emotion into it, I consider that is where you're just arguing. The emotions are into it. There's not logic behind it. Your thinking gets clouded. So that's something you should role play with folks. Talk a little bit about the art of storytelling, which is important. Just giving you a lot of things to think about. in terms of the way you communicate with your team. Maybe you communicate through your reporting. Maybe you're communicating with investors. And so the one here that really sticks out to me is fall forward. Later on, we'll talk about how to achieve success. And I talk about how learn lessons from failure and how to value failure. That's where your greatest strides are often made in your personal and your professional life. So just giving you some ways to the story, and you can start to think about all of these. When does someone use this on me, right? What is it that resonated with me? Maybe it wasn't a finance story. Maybe it wasn't a presentation story. Maybe it was a movie. And you can start to think about, hey, Ernie was talking on these sessions. I think he was using one of these on me. And each session, I want to tell a story. I want to tell a story with the whole conference of itself. Warning story plots. I like the motivating story plots. And for this whole conference, this is what I want. Pursue the reward. What's the reward of owning your career? How do I get you excited about the benefits of owning your career? How do I get you to invest in that and all these things? My brand, my network. What's the reward? You own your career. You are happy in your job. For me, I'm happy in my job. I have opportunities coming to me organically, and I can choose what I want to do. I can pivot. I have unemployment risk management. I have opportunities coming in. And so that's the reward. The reward is you get your brand, you develop it, you get it as much as possible on autopilot. You do what you love to do. You work with people, you work with the right company. You might have opportunities to dabble in some side gigs and take control of your life. And it's incredibly powerful. So that's my motivating story plot for you for this conference. Hopefully I have achieved that. If not yet, keep on watching. And then understanding technology, it's definitely a skill set. So let's look beyond TMS, I'll call Treasury. Look at the entire office of the CFO, look at that tech stack. You might not have ownership of that. Endeavor to influence that, be the CFO's right-hand man with that. We've talked about all of these in my webinars: AP automation, T&E expense management, AR, cash forecasting, FP&A, financial close. A lot of these things come down to the value is getting people to spend time on things that are valuable and getting visibility into things from A to Z, removing friction from the processes. And that allows us all to focus more on things that offer strategic value, which means impacting performance across the enterprise. So understanding that technology is going to be incredibly valuable to you as a skill set and can help set you apart from others. I want to introduce to you real quick the Treasury Skills Wheel, which was developed by Mike Richards, Treasury Recruitment Company. It gives you a way to do an assessment of your skills and your team. So just had never really seen this, so it's a valuable tool. I encourage you to look at it. I'll give you the website here in a moment. If you want help in how to use this or how to really use this with your team, I'll be happy to connect you with Mike Richards. So the way Mike does it is he's got teachable skills, right? Maybe those are easy to measure, and those are soft skills, people skills, personality traits, and attitudes. If you really want to dive in on the soft skills part, how to develop those, manage and metrics those, that's really my sweet spot. So happy to help you with that. So just real quick, it's really interesting. The wheel, it's got a target there. On the outside is our soft skills, and then we kind of go into those hard skills, and then the collaboration, I don't know, the organics of those together, the way they fit together of your skill set is really in that bullseye. And then for some folks, your bullseye will look different than my bullseye, right? And so I may be looking for a job where I would love to leverage my soft skills. It's more important to me. And the skills wheel may look different as you go across your career, as you're going to managing people. Okay, your soft skills may become more important. You have to collaborate more across your enterprise. When you're a younger person, you might be in a little bit of more of a siloed in what you're doing. Not that you don't want to develop the skills, but that's not where you want to invest your time. So again, treasuryskillswheel.com. Encourage you to take a look there. It's incredibly valuable. And so just to put a fine point on things in terms of the skills you need to deliver value, you need to have that honest look in the mirror, know what skills you have, right? Know what skills you need, do that assessment, yourself, have that conversation with your boss, have that conversation with your peers, and let's have some alignment on those. Okay, I know the skills. I have skills I need. What are those gaps? How do I fill those gaps? And you should invest in your skill set. And the good news is, from our research studies, CFOs are willing to invest in talent and retention, and everyone is because of the Great Resignation. So retention is important. So take advantage of that opportunity, and owning your skill set is going to be important in empowering you to take control of your career. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time. Make the rest of your day great.